Today I'm playing outside. What kind of games do you like to play outside? I like to play bat and ball. Catch! And I love coming to the playground and going down the slide. Whee! And having a go on the climbing frame. There are small things to climb on like this. And big climbing walls like this one at the climbing centre. At this climbing centre, there are lots of things to help us climb safely. Holds to hold on to, ropes to help us stay safe. But do you know how a climbing wall works? Let's find out. How does it work?
Climbing wall.
There are 72 different climbing walls here. That's a lot of walls. There are very high walls. And walls you can climb underneath. A climbing wall is great because it means I can practice climbing safely. This is Tom, and Tom's a climbing instructor. It's his job to help me stay safe on the wall and make sure I'm wearing the right special safety equipment. We need special climbing shoes and a safety harness. But Tom's told me I don't need to wear a helmet because we're using this to help me climb. It's called an auto belay. It has a hard case and it's attached securely to the top of a climbing wall. And inside, there's a really, really long rope called webbing. I'm going to be using a belay that's all the way up there. Tom is going to attach the webbing to my harness. Did you hear that snap sound? That means I'm safely attached. Okay, shall we have a go? As I climb, the webbing winds into the case. Let's see what happens when I want to come down. The webbing comes out of the belay and lowers me down. I made it. To find out how a belay works, I think we should take a closer look. When we climb a climbing wall, the long webbing winds up inside the auto belay at the top. When we stop climbing, the webbing stops winding up. When we fall or want to come down the wall, the weight of our body pulls on the webbing, which makes the spool go round the opposite way, unwinding the webbing. Inside the belay are magnets and a rotor made of aluminium metal. Aluminium is not magnetic. So as the rotor turns, it fights against the magnetic field, making the spool slow down. So we come down the wall slowly and safely. That was really clever, wasn't it? Can you see all of these colourful holds dotted over the wall? They're called holds because you hold on to them when you're on the climbing wall, and they're hard and a little bit rough so you can get a good grip. The holds come in different colours because they help us to climb the wall in different ways. They're called routes. Can you see there's a white route, a red route, and a green route? So you can choose which route of holds you want to try and climb. Before I go up again, I'm going to put one of my special cameras on my head so you can see what I see. There we go. I've also put a special camera at the top of the wall. This time I'm going to try the red route, which means I'm looking for the red holds. Can you see the red holds? There they are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's the first one. Here we go. I'm using my hand for the first one. And look, now I'm using my foot. I think that's high enough for now. Time to come down. That was amazing. I'm going to go up the climbing wall again, but this time I'm going to make up my own route using different colour holds. Let's climb. Look at all those different colour holds. They're different shapes too. Now let's see what happens when I want to get down. The magnetic field inside the belay is slowing down the aluminium rotor, so the webbing can bring me back safely to the floor. Made it! That was so much fun. What was your favourite part about finding out how a climbing wall works? Do you remember the name for the equipment that helps me come safely up and down the wall? That's right, it's called an auto belay. Did you hear the sound the clip made as it attached onto my harness? And did you see the view from my head as I climbed the climbing wall? I went all the way to the top. I've loved trying all the different routes on the climbing wall and learning about belays and holds. What else do they look like to you? They remind me of modelling clay. I love modelling clay. It's soft and stretchy and you can squish it into loads of different shapes. And the great thing about it is that you can use it over and over again. But do you know how modelling clay is made? Let's find out. How is it made?
Modelling clay.
To find out how modelling clay is made, I've come here to a modelling clay factory. This factory makes 920 kilograms of modelling clay every single day. That's the same weight as a horse. Here they make modelling clay in lots of different colours. Today they're making bright red modelling clay. Let's see how. To make modelling clay we need these ingredients. Our main ingredient is starch. That's this white powder. Starch comes from plants, and when it's mixed with a lot of water, it will help our modelling clay become nice and thick. Another plant material, cellulose, helps stick our modelling clay together, and salt, which acts as a preservative. And a preservative will keep the modelling clay fresh and stop any bacteria from growing. Vegetable oil helps the modelling clay from drying out and going hard. And then to give the clay its colour, we use this red powder. It's called pigment. So, we've got our ingredients. Now we need to know how to make it. This is Billy, and it's his job to weigh out all of the ingredients to make the modelling clay. But how do all these ingredients turn into squidgy modelling clay? We need to mix them up. And for that, we need a giant mixing pot. Inside, there are two long metal bars, and these spin round and round. And there are some paddles attached to them, and these make sure that everything gets mixed properly. But it will take around 40 minutes to make the modelling clay, and that's quite a long time. So I think we should film this with one of my special cameras. I'm going to use my special camera to film a time lapse. That means we can film the mixing over a long time, but when we watch it back, it will happen quickly. Okay, all set? And we're ready for the ingredients. First, the yellow vegetable oil goes in. Then the red pigment. Wow, can you see how the oil is changing colour? It's turned red. Next, the dry ingredients get added. Starch, salt, and then cellulose. Before the paddles mix everything together. Oh, look at that! The clay mixture is getting really thick. Inside the mixture are lots of tiny starch granules. And when it's been mixed a lot, those starch granules start to break down. This means they can take on lots of water, so they swell up and become firmer, and that's why the clay is getting firmer. It's a lot more like squidgy modelling clay now, doesn't it? Now the modelling clay is thick, Billy's going to turn off the rotating paddles so we can take the clay out of the mixing pot. Billy's using his hands to squash the modelling clay into this box. What a fun job! But
But how does it stay squashy enough so you can keep playing with it over and over again?
Well, it's all down to the vegetable oil and the water. When a solid like clay holds a liquid like vegetable oil or water, we call it moisture. And it's the moisture inside the clay that keeps it soft.
When the modelling clay is soft, we say it's malleable. But it only stays that way if we keep it in a tub with the lid on, so the outside air can't get in. We call this airtight.
This bit of modelling clay has been left out in the air overnight. Oh no, it started to go hard, and when I tried to mould it, it just cracks. It's dried out.
When modelling clay is left out, air around it warms up the water inside the modelling clay and turns it into a gas. This is called evaporation. The gas leaves the modelling clay, which makes it dry.
Our finished modelling clay is ready to be packaged. But first, it has to get squashed into the right shape. And that happens here at the extruder. The clay goes in the top and comes out the bottom through this pipe. Let's see it in action. Wow, here it comes. It looks like a long sausage, doesn't it? But now it's got to get cut to the right size. You hear that noise? That is the paddle, spinning round. It acts like a blade, chopping the modelling clay to the right length. Been wrapped in a thin layer of plastic, but it's quite loose, so it goes through the oven, and the heat shrinks the plastic tight to the clay, and this makes it airtight, so that none of the moisture can get out of the clay, so it stays soft and squishy. And there you go, some finished modelling clay. What shall we make?
It's going to be an insect with a green head and blue spots.
It's a colourful ladybird. I had so much fun finding out how modelling clay is made. What was your favourite part?
Do you remember what we call a tub when the lid is fastened on top? That's right, it's airtight. Do you remember the sound the paddle made as it cut the modelling clay? Did you see on my special time-lapse camera when the modelling clay went from gloopy to thick?
So the next time you play with modelling clay, you'll know how it was made. And if you visit a climbing wall, you'll know how the belay works to help us get up and down safely. Right, I think it's time for me to have another go. I'll see you next time.
There are lots of things